I'd been watching from the sidelines as just a fan of business. I was working at a hypergrowth tech company in the security space, actually, and your growth was truly astounding. It happened, it seemed like in a short period of time. I'm curious, so like, what was the state of the budgeting process, the planning process? What did you walk into after being at relatively more mature companies at Symantec and Palo Alto?
The state of the budgeting process, it was, I would say, where it should have been. Really good people, well managed company. So my goal was like, take it from point A to point B. When you're getting a company ready for an IPO, before I come to the budgeting process, there are probably two or three things that are absolutely needed. Number one is, do you have accurate numbers that you're reporting? Your quote to cash process, your procure to pay process, your billing systems, your IT systems, hardening all of these before you're a public company. So that was focus number one. I'm not joking. We probably kicked off 20 different projects, mini projects, to make sure we are tightening all of these areas of the business. The second area was budgeting. Super strategic, super important, because if you get it wrong, it's a huge productivity suck, especially for a high growth scaling company. Where you deploy your capital really matters. I mean, that's the biggest constraint. You invest in R&D, you get returns in 18 to 24 months, sometimes even longer. You invest in sales and marketing, you're basically getting returns in 9 to 12 months. As you're doing this, you're trying to build and invest in G&A to build the right processes, right technology, so that when the company doubles, triples, quadruples, things don't break. That was the mindset for me when I joined Confluent, around the building a budgeting process, building an operating plan. There are probably four building blocks to building a successful operating plan. It all starts with the company mission. Sometimes you take it for granted that'll happen, but you start with a company mission. You have the CEO write down his mission statement, his focus, not more than a single page, where this is what I really care about, and this is what I want to accomplish in the next 3 years. And then, based on those, you create your set of strategic goals. And typically, I ask every functional head, every e-staff member to create their one-page strategic goals. So even before you put pen to paper, even before you get into spreadsheets, these are probably important aspects of the budgeting process that you need to kind of go through. Then you develop your operating plan. Most companies you have a 3-year plan, you have an annual plan, you have quarterly plans, and then, you're executing your quarterly plans with a monthly forecasting cycle. And every month, you're actually updating not only the quarter, but rest of the year from a forecast perspective. That's the continuous nature of a planning process that you're trying to build. That's probably developing the operating plan. And then the fourth thing is, as you're executing, you're learning and you're adapting. So these are the four pillars, like company mission, the strategic goals, developing the plan, and then execute, learn, and adapt.
That is amazing. Sometimes you just gotta give the guy the ball and let him cook. Can you talk about the learning and adapting part? How often are you looking to change the plan and implement what you're hearing?
In all the years that I've run planning, the way I think about it is, you have a LRP, which you call the long range plan, right? It's typically 3 years, 5 years, depending on the company. 3 years is more the norm these days. And then you have an annual plan. And you set the annual plan, and then you have this monthly forecasting cycle based on, as the actual results come in, you're learning about it, how the plan is working, and then you try to make tweaks. So in a more official capacity, in every company that I've been, try to do a very lightweight mid-year planning cycle, where I kind of throw the ball back at each of the execs and say, you've kind of allocated resources to these areas. If you had to redo it, would you kind of change anything? More often than not, you'll see that, people make tweaks. People make tweaks for their individual functions, but more often than not, it kind of connects to all functions. If your marketing leader says that, I'm not getting great ROI from, say, the Japan market, your go-to-market team needs to adapt as well. All right, I was thinking of 2 additional hires in Japan for the second half of the year. Maybe I slow down on it. It's all connected. So it's a good forum to have a lightweight check in the middle of the year. You just move the pieces a little bit. To answer your question, this is a continuous process. You're updating your plan and forecast every month. as the results come in.
Two things there. One, that you throw it back at people so they have skin in the game and they feel like it's their idea of why they want to change things. You're not coming top down and saying, hey, listen, this is what we got to do. You're putting the ball in their court. And then the second thing is you're pointing out that it's all interconnected. You can't be making these decisions in a silo.
Another thing about writing down the strategic goals is, I personally like a lot of healthy tension in the planning cycle. I call it healthy tension because you get a lot of calls as CFO. I need more money. Of course, you need more money. Let's think through, how are you prioritizing? The strategic goals that you set tend to be true north. If you have a list of things that you want to kind of invest in, and if it's not aligned with your strategic goals, it's easy to put it below the line, at least for the short term. It acts as a default prioritization system for basically executives. We also do a little bit of, what I call hybrid zero-based budgeting.
The CFO role has evolved faster than the tools built to support it. Most finance teams are still running infrastructure designed for a job that no longer exists. The reporting, the reconciling, the close that bleeds into the next month or quarter. That's not finance, that's overhead with a really crappy title. And the cost isn't just your time, it's everything your best people aren't doing while they're buried in it. Agentic finance shouldn't multiply your output, it should eliminate the work that was never worth doing in the first place. And that's why I run mostly media on Brex, an intelligent finance platform with AI-powered agents that capture expenses automatically, enforce policy before the spend happens, and close your books in minutes instead of weeks. 35,000 companies like OpenAI, Coinbase, Anthropic, and DoorDash already run on Brex. It's time to get Brex AF. Learn more at brex.com/metrics.